No hat guy, no intro, let's get right to it. Leafs lose 4-2 to the Washington Capitals. Probably their worst hockey of the season, probably the worst time. And rather than talk about the game goal by goal by goal, let's talk about something Ron Wilson said last night that supremely just bugged me. Before I start this rant, I want to say I have no idea what it's like to coach a hockey team, much less an NHL one. So you can take it, leave it, click the like button, or click the X. It's the beauty of the internet. Now, a lot of you guys give me crap because I've never really ragged on Wilson that hard. Because the Fire Wilson bandwagon started pretty much the second he stepped foot in Toronto. So I was like, can we give the guy a chance for a sec? And now I might be done with him given the Leafs' performance of late, but more importantly, what he said after the loss to the Caps. Here are a few of the quotes. The 2 goals early in the game were stoppable chances. They got saves at one end and we didn't. First goal, all 5 Leaf skaters are within about 15 feet of each other. I don't know why no one has Ovechkin, and I don't know why Phaneuf thinks he can catch Johansson. And while Reimer probably should have been able to get over fast enough, Gunnarsson wasn't even looking at the shot. After seeing that goal, I wanted to just watch a bunch of episodes of Animaniacs, have an entire box of Dunkaroos, and get a mushroom haircut because no one scored a wraparound goal like that since the 90s. Stoppable for Reimer? Yeah, but what the hell was the rest of the team doing? Second goal, Reimer gets beat 5-hole, probably a little too deep in his net. Theory as to why he was so deep in net for that, he just made a save, Schenn had the puck, and no NHL defenseman gets stripped like that. Sorry, no NHL defenseman on a good team, which this isn't currently. And Wilson says they were getting saves and the Leafs were off the balls! Leafs outshot 29-19 after the first 2 periods. I suppose that was Reimer's fault too. This is why a few videos ago when I said I was done with Gustafsson, it took me so long because the team in front of him can't stop a thing. And before I go further in this rant, the reason that it started is, well, basically Ron Wilson owes PJ Stock his lunch money for the rest of his life. Because Stock was looking over Wilson's post-game just like I am now, and, you know, he disagreed with some of the things he said. Normally when you get an expert that disagrees, they'll go, sure. Well, I disagree. You know, something like that. Stock did something that I rarely ever see, and that's, he just laughed. So Wilson gets on the mic at the post-game press conference and just hacks and slashes at Reimer's confidence with a katana sword, and PJ just goes, you can't do that. And I saw this on Twitter. I wish I remembered who it was so I could give you credit. Goes, isn't Reimer the only reason Wilson still has his job? This is how frustrated I am with this team right now. I don't remember where I was going. I'm not even going to bother looking at the video footage to figure that out. Imagine if Reimer, and Reimer would never do this in a million years, but what if he came out and was like, well, the coach at the other end didn't have the 28th, 29th, 30th worst penalty kill in the entire league for the last few years, so. And all you got to do during that press conference is just look at Wilson. Just, well, yeah, you know, we weren't getting his, yeah, you know. Looks like an awesome vibe. I'm sure players love that. The vast majority of the Leafs, and I know they're a young team, but the majority of the team has rotten body language when things are going wrong. And isn't part of what the coach does making them feel like, no, guys, you can do it. But I rarely, pretty much never see the team with an attitude that just says, we can do it. Another part of the press conference, someone goes, how do you prepare your team to not get down when you're letting a goal like that? And Wilson goes, well, I don't know if many coaches out there have the answer to that. Well, they are few and far between, but maybe the team should go out and find one. Another part of the press conference, it's tough when everyone gets down to keep them propped up. They're down 2 goals, but there's 55 minutes left to play in the game. They're about 2 points out of a playoff spot this late in the season, and you can't motivate them? Cool. I'm sorry, does that reflect poorly on the goalie who can't stop shots or the coach? Later in the press conference, and this will be awesome for any goalie to hear, we've got to get a save here and there. Well, NHL.com features this little thing called Saturday's Best where they show 5 amazing highlights from Saturday night, and there's only 1 save, and it belongs to Reimer. Big desperation stick save on a 2-on-1. In the second period where, again, the Leafs were outshot 18-10. Similar situation to Gustafsson's last game. Okay, you make some amazing saves after you let in a couple stinkers. Should you really be congratulated for that? Well, you're getting a save here or there, but the defensemen aren't stopping the shots from coming in, and the forwards aren't putting their shots in the back of the other net. Last one, this is a young group, so I've avoided cracking the whip. Getting them down lower and lower isn't the way. No, of course not, except for the 24-year-old starting goaltender you just trashed in the media. And as long as we're airing grievances about Wilson, Komisarek scratched yet again, and Colby Armstrong, finally finding his way back in the lineup, actually scores a goal. But these guys have been regular scratches lately. Why the hell do they get their A back when they're back in the lineup? Are they leaders on your team or not? Bench them once, twice, a few times, whatever, just send the message or something. But after a while, when do you stop saying these guys are our team's leaders? They usually just hand out the extra A to Grabowski or Kessel. Those guys play every game. Why not just leave it as Grabowski and Kessel? Because I can't look at those leaders for guidance because they're up in the press box, and I'm not sure I can look at the coach as a leader because he's just a ray of sunshine. So a few points back of a playoff spot now, leapfrogged by the Capitals. They're in 10th place, late in the season. They're a young team, trade deadline right there. It's gotta suck to be a Toronto Maple Leaf right now. And I'll end this off because this video is probably getting too long. I don't envy Brian Burke even sort of. Because the smart move might just be to stay the course with the young team, try to make the playoffs, and if you don't, take your lumps, and they will be big lumps. I'm talking media, fans, waffles everywhere. Or do a lot because a ton of leadership and a ton of money is sitting in the press box on a nightly basis, and a bunch more one-way contract money is sitting in the minors. And for all the moves Burke has made that have really worked out, those ones really haven't, and he's got to clean them up. Question of the game, I'm not just going to ask, would you fire Wilson? Get into Burke's mind, your buddy forever, but you look at your team, would you fire Wilson today? I say no. I think it'd be dumb to get rid of a coach this late in the season. Off season, you definitely evaluate that. If they miss the playoffs, frankly, I think it'd be a mistake if he came back. So, enjoy the deadline.